You know it's really dead.
Say that again.
Don't take the skin off the bear until you know it's really dead. It could be on the ground, but if you start taking the skin off, it's not dead. It's gonna wake up and you're gonna be dead.
You want to sit? Want to stand up?
I'll stand.
You just have to get
Yep.
that mic up to your mouth there, if you would.
Is that? Oh, so you got to get tough on it. Good.
All right, it's time for our All-Star Rub with Love edition. Yay!
Yay.
Carol's got her Seattle Kraken T-shirt on. You are the newest. You're one of the first members of the Seattle Kraken Cheer Club.
Oh, yeah. I'm on the bandwagon.
Yes, in a big way.
Yes.
I'm Tom Douglas.
And I'm here, Roturo, the chef in a hat.
We're coming to you from the Hotel Andrea in downtown Seattle. And Carol is our Rub with Love product line manager. Has been for years out at our Ballard warehouse where we actually mix and sell all of our rubs. And Rub with Love, as you know, is the sponsor for Food for Thought Tasty Trivia. Thank you for that, Carol. You have come up with a pop-up
Yes.
edition of our rub, and I think best described as barbecue potato chip flavored.
Yes, exactly. We are taking advantage of some very exciting things that are happening here in Seattle this summer. The All-Star Game is coming to town, and we thought what better way to pay tribute but to honor sports with food, because sports create community and food create community. And I think together, whether you're sitting at the ballpark or sitting at the table, it's a way to be brought together. And it's really delicious. It's versatile. And I think it's really fun. It's got a little baseball on the lid.
It's got a little baseball on the lid. And, you know, when you go to the baseball park, you're thinking before you even walk in, what am I going to have to eat, right?
Right.
You're thinking about the dogs, you know. I always think,
when
who's
I
got
go to
the
the ball-
brownest hot dogs?
It's funny because when I go to the ballpark, all I think about is what team I'm going to be watching.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah.
You know, the-
I like how Tom is like, what am I going to eat?
well, the teams used to be, I would always stop in Chinatown and get a duck and take it in the box into the game, into the Kingdom. And then they stopped letting you do that because, you know, when I was going to the Kingdom, you were literally could sit in any section you wanted by yourself until the very end, until we had the playoffs. But for 20 years, there was never
Anybody.
well, no. Well, I think we averaged about 5,000 a game
Right.
in a 70,000 seat stadium.
So
So
there's seats for everybody.
anyway, so Carol had this idea to come up with this a tribute to the All-Star Game. Of course, we're not allowed to say Major League Baseball or any of that
I know,
kind
of
of thing on
course.
it because we're not licensed to do that. But I think it's delicious. I was making it on steak the other night.
Mhm.
I sent you pictures.
Yep.
And I loved how it caramelized without a whole lot of sugar in there.
Yep.
And it was super tasty, and it has more smoke, I would say,
Yes.
flavor than our own smoky barbecue rub has.
Yes, I've done it on chicken. I've done it on tater tots, was really delicious. I've done pork chops, and
You did it on tater tots. I'm so proud of you.
I know it's so good.
Yeah.
One of the greatest things about this product is how it smells when it's cooking.
Mhm.
I just love that. It's magical.
So it's only around for a short time, right?
Limited edition. Get it while you
What do
can.
we have? 250 cases total?
Yeah, we don't have a lot, so you can get it right now. It's on our website. You can get it down at Seatown and Etta's. By tomorrow, you'll be able to get it at Far West Sports in Fife.
That's
Uh,
a great hit.
Yeah, we have our friends at Made in Washington stores will be carrying it very soon, and hopefully more grocery stores.
I'm sure they're going to jump on
right-
the bandwagon because it's a big celebration. So
Yes.
What about the potato chip? Like, have you done really good potato chips with it
I
yet?
haven't yet, but let's do it.
Yeah, I should have.
You know what she did bring us today? I don't know if you saw this box in front of me because I've been eating them all, but she brought us rubber doodles.
Mhm.
Tell us about those.
Well, most of our product is done in a savory mode, whether you're cooking vegetables or whatever. And we thought, why can't we make
No, wait,
a dessert?
We didn't think.
Okay. I thought,
Yeah.
why don't we do something sweet? So I took my favorite snickerdoodle recipe, and instead of cinnamon sugar, I roll them in our Chinese 12 spice and bake them off. And so it's got a little bit of a kick to it and a little sweet. And
it's really good. It's very, very delicious. It matches really well.
Yeah.
I was impressed. It's really good.
And then you just dip it in teriyaki sauce, right?
No.
Why not?
Heck, no.
No
No.
way.
No.
Well, it's fun. We literally sit around the table sometimes and taste different ingredients, and
Sure.
we deal with spice companies all over the world. And locally, we smoke our own paprika. We do a lot of things that you might not think about when you look at our rubbed line
Right.
on the shelf. But just as we had Jeanine earlier on the show, the nutritionals, the calorie counts, the ingredient list. Did you know that when you make a product, that the ingredient list has to be in order of volume in the
That
jar,
is
right?
something I know for a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
And I wonder sometimes if everyone respects that. I mean, they wouldn't get away with being able to do that, right, Janine?
Carol, what do you think about that? I think people do. I think you have to,
Yeah, I
because
think
Yeah.
if you don't, it will throw off your nutritionals.
This is why it's always important to read the label, because sometimes you're impressed. You go, I wonder if this is good. The first thing you see is sugar. You're like,
Uh,
hmm.
well, sometimes sugar is, it's not
Well, if you're
necessarily.
trying to buy something savory, usually that's not what you're looking for.
I understand, but we have the best-selling salmon rub in the world, and it's got plenty of brown sugar in it because it's part of the caramelization process of that particular rub.
But I expect to see sugar in that. I'm talking about sometime you read label and you're just impressed, and there is sugar as number one, and
Yeah.
you don't expect it to be. So read the label is always interesting.
I'm very surprised to see the rice vinegar powder, but I think that's kind of brilliant
I think you're going to like it.
because it gives it that little under layer sharpness
Mhm.
with the seasonings, right? And honey granules.
Mhm.
This is sexy.
Well, when you're making a dry rub, it's interesting that you have to use ingredients that are dried, and so you end up using lemon crystals. You end up
Right,
using
right.
powdered vinegars. The big problem with powdered vinegars is they are super powdery, and so when you turn the mixture on, they want to blow up a little bit in the room.
Oh,
And God, you have to wear a mask when you're using
Yeah.
vinegars because it just really gets right up your nose.
Have you worked with it before?
Not specifically, no. This
That
is
was
new.
a night. So what was the process of balancing the flavors to get the right palette?
Just
for
like
what
you
were
did when
looking
you
for?
designed the veggie rub for us. It's just exactly that. You try, what you think is going to be a good mix, and then you say, well, I want more garlic, or I want something else. I need some brightness. So for me, when I want brightness, I go to the lemon crystals or lemon powder of some sort. But that's exactly how you get there.
Yeah.
It's just back and forth, and then you have to make a recipe that can be multiplied.
Yeah.
Because I don't care whether you're making angel food cake or spice rub, nothing ever seems to work just in plain multiplication tables.
What Tom is referring to is making one versus making 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just making 3, but making 1,000. Things change drastically, and then you got to make your recipe in percent, not in weight, because things changes. And
Well, it ended up being kind of in weight, but especially in a dry situation.
Right.
In a wet situation, where you're making, say, cornbread from one batch to 6 batches of cornbread in the same bowl,
Right.
you can really end up
Oh, yeah.
off kilter.
Yeah.
Yeah, with your
Yeah, I mean things
buttermilk
like eggs and things like this,
Mm-hmm.
especially eggs, things like that. They're never exactly the same. So you time it by 1,000, you end up with a couple dozen more than you want or less.
or soggy because
Right.
the eggs can be
Too much
small,
moisture,
medium,
yeah.
large, extra large, jumbo, and next thing you know, what you really have to do is beat the eggs and then weigh the amount of beaten egg that
Right.
you use, so that because not every egg is the same weight.
So can we go back to the potato
Yes,
chips?
yes, we can go back to the potato
How? I know sometimes you recommend the seasoning at the end, so it doesn't get burnt. If I wanted to get my mandolin out, do my potatoes, put them in the convection oven,
No,
oil.
What kind of
oil.
we're
wait,
deep frying. Thank you.
deep frying? Were you making potato chips in the oven?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stop it.
this is why she's
know
no
what?
longer a restaurant
It
chef.
goes like this in life. If you can't have potato chips, don't eat potato chips. But don't make potato chip another way because you want to have. No, potato chips are deep
You're getting
fried.
a scolding right now.
Oh my God! Enough with this
So
changing
to
everything.
answer your question that you wanted to ask is, when I'm deep frying the potato chips, then I get them to the point where I want them crisp, and I get a metal bowl, and I take my all-star rub and my salt if I need more, although I find this one plenty salty.
Mhm.
after they're fried in the bowl, no paper towel. You want that little extra oil residue.
Yeah, you want a little bit of that oil.
because you want the chips wet enough with the oil residue to pick up the spice rub, right? And so then they're nicely coated, and then you put in to your taste level. So for me, I like a plenty of barbecue seasoning on my chips. Almost always, I'd say 9. I'm a barbecue chip aficionado.
I know this.
Yeah, and almost 9 times out of 10, there's not enough seasoning mix on.
You can
for
carry
me.
this around with you all the
I
time
do. I'm
now.
going to carry the All-Star rub with me. So yeah,
Always
but
have a
that's
jar.
exactly how they're made. And went down to Tim's Chips when we were talking about doing our spice chips or spice popcorn, and they literally just have them in big tumblers. Next thing you know, they're running down a line, getting popped into a cellophane bag, and you're all set. So that's what I would do. I would take our All-Star rub, hot chips, put them together, and you're magic. Yeah, exactly.
And one more thing, we're also doing specials down at Seatown and Etta's using this product for the next couple months. So check out those 2 restaurants, check out the rub. You can.
Yeah, it does with some barbecue. Oh,
And the first 3 people, I know we got YouTubers listening, but the first 3 people that sign in saying they want a jar rub and send it to you, Pamela, not to me, we'll send out a free jar of our All-Star rub.
Thanks for that, Douglas. I'm
First
still
3
reading
people.
the stove entries.
I know, exactly. We're going to talk about that next on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
This is pretty nice.
thank you, Carol.
Love it.
You're gonna love it. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I thought you said you can get it. I wouldn't try to make it. Yeah. I like the cider vinegar powder.
Cider vinegar powder. Brilliant.
We actually stopped using most of the vinegars in our mixing because it blooms it out when you mix it and made people crazy. Why are you hating on our cookies? I love Carol's cookies. Yeah.
No, I'm good. Thank you so much.
Carol, I loved your cookies. I don't know why they're acting this way. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Popcorn. Don't give up on my veggie rub, Kathy.
You don't strike me as a barbecue chip person. Yeah. Are you really? Wow. There's a shocker.
Well, when you open that bag, that
dude,
smell, it does
that
not
smell,
remind me of
yes.
barbecue.
Okay, here we go. Oh, do we now?
So I asked Trina if she considered her name in the hat, and she is disqualified. So she said nope.
I think
Did you look at the answers already?
She's on the line.
Just because you didn't want to play. Yeah. She won't eat Carol's cookies. She won't play trivia with us. God, why?
well, Kathy's good at it. Kathy and Heather could be a team, or Carol and Jeanine could be a team.
You're the producer, Pam.
Heather and Jeanine. Whoa, in the hot seat coming up. Yeah, you have to come up.
I'm not. You're really okay.
Plus, you're women, and it seems to me that this is always kind of geared towards the women on our show.
The
So
women always win.
Secondly, you can't sit back there and answer on the radio. Yeah.
You have to be that close to the
This
mic.
close to the microphone when you answer. So,
That's you.
and
How about you?
So when you want to talk, be that close.
Be that close. Can you read from there, Tom?
No.
Okay, good.
Oh, I love that. I can see it from here, though.
all right, it's time to wrap up our Food for Thought Tasty Trivia Challenge right here on the Hot Stove Society show. Hey, Pam, grab the mic for 1 second. And this is the last weekend for people to send in the pictures of the stove they grew up with. at their mom's house
Yep.
and a thought about why it's important to me and the recipe idea that they love and maybe even still make in their household.
Yes. The 5th is the day that we're doing the drawing. So
And then where do they send that to?
Pamela H at tomdouglas.com.
Same place they send for their free
Yep.
All-Star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Busy email.
Nice job. Okay, Becky Guzak is stepping up to the mic. She's a longtime listener, feisty young lady from the East Side who thinks that Chef Terry and I deserve a beating once in a while when it comes to trivia. And
It just resets the clock, you know.
I think she just kind of
We get
loads up the
lost in
game
our
against
own
us
world.
personally. So that's all right. Becky, welcome to the show.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
You did a tribute to mothers in
Mother's Day.
your questions today.
Yes.
And we have at the mic, Jeanine and Heather from our audience. Jeanine was on earlier. She's the dietitian who's probably going to kick our butt too. And Heather, I don't know.
You don't know?
She's a writer.
You're a writer.
So there may be some trivia. In
Oh, okay. There might be some trivia.
don't know.
Okay. So we play this game. Becky's going to ask each of us 5 questions. The winner gets to shout for fame for the rest of their life. And the loser just walks around with their fingers cocked over their head and then L as a loser, loser. Chef, are you ready?
Yes, I'm getting scared, but yes.
Yeah. Okay.
This is getting intense.
All right.
You'll do great, Chef in the Hat.
Okay.
Okay, Terry, can you name the classic Middle Eastern dessert that is often enjoyed on Mother's Day and is composed with layers of phyllo, butter, nuts, and honey?
Baklava.
Nailed it. Okay, true or false? Betty Crocker was the mother of 8 children.
True.
That's completely false.
Well, I had 2 options.
The food industry created this fictional character in 1921 to encourage mothers to use processed foods in their home-cooked meals.
I'm so sorry I did
Rascals.
not know the answer. I would have loved to be the one to say that.
You were in France back then.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Betty Crocker, I did not know her.
Okay, multiple choice. Mother's Day can be a great time to forage for morel mushrooms. What is the world record weight of the largest morel found in Ohio in 2017? 1.5 pounds, 3 pounds, or 5.5 pounds?
A 5-pound
A real morel, not a
Real
false one.
morel,
Yeah.
A real
12
morel.
inches in diameter.
Oh, that's a 5-pounder.
It's actually a 3.
Okay.
I thought it was going
Well,
easy.
even 3-pounder, I would love to find that.
Okay. True. Okay,
Wow.
true or false? Never mind. Quinoa was the first cultivated for food 7,000 years ago in the Andes Mountains. True or false? The Incas called quinoa the mother grain, believing it was sacred.
Absolutely.
That is
True.
true. Yes. And then could you please share a cooking tip, recipe, or culinary insight that your mother taught you growing up?
Cooking tip. Yeah, when you're making tofu, which is one of my favorite dishes she makes, to degrease the top of the pot, as soon as it comes to a boil, the first thing you do is first get rid of all the impurities.
Qu'est-ce que c'est pot-au-feu?
Oh, pot-au-feu is a boiled beef vegetable dish, very traditional in France. And when you first bring it to a boil, all the impurity comes up. You have to get rid of that. You know, skim. It's called skim the scum in the kitchen. And then the next thing that comes up is all that fat from the either you use oxtail or neck. All that fat comes up, and you take all that fat off the stew. You keep it on the side to put later on back into the broth when you use the broth for pho.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
That's a full point for sure.
Full point.
All
Okay.
right. How
Way to
many did you
go,
get,
Chef.
Terry?
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. Okay. You
Heather
ready?
and Jeanine.
Thank you. What is the name of the French breakfast dish that translates to lost bread and is a popular Mother's Day brunch item?
Lost bread.
It's a French breakfast item. French
No.
toast.
Toast.
French toast.
It's
She
called-
gave you.
Really?
She gave you the hint.
Yes.
It's called pain perdu.
Pain perdu.
Pain perdu.
Yes. Bread lost. True or false? Botanically, tomatoes and zucchini are fruits, not vegetables. True. Fruit develops from the flower of a plant and contains seeds, while vegetables consist of roots, stems, and leaves. So bell peppers, avocado, olives even, they're really fruits. Please name the popular beverage made from fermented tea that is believed to have been originated in China and is often savored during Mother's Day brunches. Fermented tea. Kombucha.
Kombucha.
Yeah.
You have to talk right into the mic or nobody can hear you out in radio
Kombucha.
land. Kombucha, you got it.
Woo!
That's the first one we could hear. Yeah.
Can you name the creamy Italian dessert, which translates to cooked cream, that is traditionally enjoyed on Mother's Day? Would you like options?
Yes.
Okay, it's
Yes.
Italian dessert. And here's the 3 options: creme brulee, pot de creme, or panna cotta.
Panna cotta.
Well done. Yes.
Nice job.
And then finally, do you have a favorite recipe or something your mother taught you growing up?
My family's Australian, not known for their culinary talents. They
That's
taught me to make a good, strong cup of tea.
Lovely.
The other one is a reservation.
Absolutely.
Mine would probably be chocolate chip cookies.
Ooh, lovely. Okay, thank you. Well done.
Yes.
All right, Tom, you
Way
got
to
to
go.
beat.
4 out of
I think you
5.
got to. You got to beat 4 out of 5.
4 out of
Yeah.
5.
All right. Douglas' turn. Necessity has been the mother of many inventions throughout history. Which cooking tool was invented in 1679 by a French physicist to save valuable fuel by reducing cooking time by half or more than conventional boiling?
In what year again?
1679. It's
A
used
magnifying glass.
the pressure cooker.
Pressure cooker.
I thought you were going to get that one for sure.
No.
Ah, okay.
Because, as I found out as a kid, if you put a magnifying glass over an ant, you can cook it really fast.
Do you know what
That's
they
good.
Do you
That's
know
a
what they
good
call
answer.
it in France? The pressure cooker. They call it cocotte minute.
Oh, that makes sense. In a minute. Something. Okay.
That's why I didn't recognize it.
Which famous mother is quoted for saying, "The hunger for love is much more difficult to remove than the hunger for bread"?
Mother Teresa.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
She recognized that while physical nourishment is important, it's equally important to provide emotional and spiritual nourishment through the acts of love and kindness. Fun fact, Buzz Aldrin's mother's maiden name was Moon.
True.
That is true. But true or false, the first meal eaten on the moon by Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong consisted of bacon, peaches, sugar cookie cubes, pineapple grapefruit drink, and coffee.
No tang.
Not yet.
Oh, this was on the moon?
Mhm.
Sure. Why not?
It is. That is true.
Wow.
That is true. Number 4, Forrest Gump stated, "My mama always said life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get."
Until
Who
you
is
bite
that?
into one. Yeah.
What? Who is the actress who played the wise Mrs. Gump?
Sally Field.
Yes.
Yes.
Good job. And finally,
Which is different than strawberry field.
very,
Yeah.
very. Please share a favorite dish or something that your mother taught you about cooking.
My mother taught me to not be a pig when she made meatloaf the night before, because if I loved it in my sandwiches when they went in the brown paper bag to go to school, that there wouldn't be enough left.
Delayed
That's how-
gratification.
Yeah, it's how I learned how to not overeat.
Awesome. Well,
Sort of.
working on it. Terry,
You know what I loved on my sandwiches? Though sweet pickles.
I think Tom.
and Heinz chili sauce.
Oof.
I think Tom tied with the girls.
Well
Heather
done.
and-
Way to go.
Heather and,
Well done.
and Jen.
Way to go, ladies. Sorry, chef.
It's okay.
If you want to be part of our show, you can join the community on YouTube Live at Tom Douglas and Company. Also, remember, if you miss any episode of our Hot Stove Society show in Cairo, you can listen via podcast. Just subscribe to your favorite podcast app. The show is produced by Pamela Hinckley. Becky Guzak nicely jumping in on the trivia challenge. Sean McFadden is our technical producer, and our ever-loving Cairo editor is Sean, don't call me, Del Torre.
Thanks for listening and happy Mother's Day.
Yeah. What question? Wow.